we, the Independent Medical Legal Unit, would like to express our deep concern and outrage over the widespread and systemic levels of torture, extrajudicial, summary, and arbitrary executions, and enforced disappearances as we head to the 2022 general elections. As we articulate to you today, 2021 has been one of the worst years ever experienced between the police and citizens since the promulgation of the Constitution of Kenya 2010. 10 years down the line, with huge amounts of resources spent on policing reform, we expected a different result, not an era of torture, extrajudicial, summary, and arbitrary executions, and enforced disappearances, accompanied by very low levels of accountability. In the period January to December 2021, we have recorded 198 cases of violations of various degrees, including fatalities from police action. These include 164 males and 34 females. The number of cases this year is an increase of 31.31%, or 62 extra cases of violations as compared to 136 cases recorded in 2020. Men, especially young men, are most likely to be victims of state violations, accounting for 82.83% of all the cases of torture, cruel, inhuman, degrading treatment, enforced disappearances, and extrajudicial executions. Out of these cases, 156 were perpetrated by the Kenya Police Service, what we call general duty officers. 3 by chiefs and assistant chiefs, 1 by Kenya Wildlife Service officers, 2 by Kenya Forest Service, 1 by Kenya Defense Forces, 2 by government doctors, 5 by county askaris, 4 by public school teachers, 7 by anti-stock theft unit, 1 by the Coast Guard, 1 by prison warder, and 1 involving the British Army. We had an outlier case of 3 victims who are victims of the Ugandan police, 1 fisherman and 2 refugees. The distribution of cases of violations in 2021 depict a national, systemic, and widespread problem. As we welcome the new year 2022, we expect the National Police Service to account for billions of resources spent to support the reform process. The starting point being a complete cessation of atrocities they have committed and continue to commit against the civilian population across the country over the last 1 year. Without this change, Kenyans have a big reason to worry about their safety and security during the 2022 election season. We also call upon the Inspector General of Police to adopt a zero-tolerance policy towards the spread of excessive, arbitrary, and unnecessary use of force and firearms by his officers across the country. The Inspector General must of necessity institute a special inquiry on all police stations' jurisdictions, station and sub-county commanders where these violations happened, with a view of bringing all culprits to book and fixing the command loopholes that are leading to unnecessary and uncalled for violence against citizens. Also, it is important that all police officers be trained on elections, policing of assemblies, and public order management to mitigate against violations witnessed during previous elections. If you may remember, in 2017, we recorded 32 cases of death from police action in public order management. We also call upon all political players at national and county levels to embrace security sector reforms as a key agenda item in their manifesto and campaign platform. Anything short of this would be a betrayal of the constitutional promise of a national police service. The government must also take appropriate measures to investigate the rising cases of abductions and forced disappearances being perpetrated by both state and non-state agents, with a view to bringing culprits to book and ending this state of terror. Without prompt action, the rule of law in Kenya is under threat and none of us is safe. In addition, the government must take necessary measures to ensure that enforced disappearance constitutes an offense under criminal law in Kenya, which is not the case today. This must be a priority legislative agenda for anyone seeking leadership in the 2022 elections at county and national level, for over 2/3 of counties are affected by this problem. We also urge the state to ratify the International Convention for the Protection of All Persons from Enforced Disappearance as an assurance and safeguard for the freedom and security of the person as enshrined in our Constitution. Friends, compatriots, 2022 must be a complete departure from this culture of death and fear. It must be the year of the rule of law, where all feel safe and secure,